Good evening, Livio, Regano with tonight's weather. Heavy rain and gale force winds across North Queensland for the next couple of days as the intensifying monsoon gives birth to a tropical cyclone. For the rest of Queensland, just a bit cloudy with a stiff breeze. Some good rain overnight with Moonga Creek recording over 100 millimetres. Euramo scored 85 mils and a nice drop at Gordon Vale as well. Tully's had another 100 and something mils since 9 o'clock this morning. Now, the rain's had surprisingly minimal effect on today's temps, with Cairns reporting a range of 25 to 32 degrees. Humidity is obviously high in the damp weather. Looking at the satellite loop now, you can see the blow-up of cloud. It's mostly between about Serena on the central coast and the tip of Cape York Peninsula that the heavy rain's starting to fall. The monsoon's very active and any low forming on it in the next couple of days has got a very good chance of further developing into a tropical cyclone. South of that line, as you can see, conditions have been relatively quiet. On today's chart, we've got two things happening. We've got a big high in the Tasman Sea pushing up strong southeast winds along the coast, and that front is pushing north all the time. Meanwhile, you've got two lows here. Both of them will probably combine and eventually form into a tropical cyclone. We'll see that if we look at tomorrow's chart. A single system forms off the coast, gale force winds below it, and heavy rain not so much further south. Now, the latest from the Weather Bureau, the boating forecast for Cairns waters, a gale warning for south-southeasterlies reaching 35 knots with 4 metre seas. Gales again on Friday and then strong winds for Saturday. The king tides are still with us, so the peak was on yesterday's full moon, so tomorrow's high tide should be slightly less aggressive, though still pretty big. Now, the North Tropical Coast and Tablelands, we've got a severe weather warning for strong winds and heavy rain. Rain and storms with heavy falls, 30 the top for Cairns, Atherton 25, Innisfail 30 and Mareeba 28. Looking ahead for Cairns, whether it becomes a cyclone or not, the monsoon low should move quickly out into the deep Pacific this weekend, easing up the wind and clearing out most of the rain. For Atherton, it's more of a shower situation rather than general rain, but there could be some heavy falls and they'll basically dwindle out next week. A question from Year 6 at Toowoomba East State School. What happens when cyclones cross hemispheres? Well, they never do. Instead, they form in two distinct bands above and below the equator, but never within 5 degrees latitude of the equator itself. Because of the Earth's rotation, cyclones in the southern hemisphere revolve the opposite way to what they do up north, so there must be a halfway point somewhere on the globe where they don't revolve at all and cease to become cyclones. Have a nice evening, folks. Now it's back to the team.
And just a reminder, you can enjoy a replay of our news and also the National Bulletin over on 7/2 from 6:30. From all of us, good night.